Hi, I'm Ruth McKeaney. Welcome back to Hillside Farm. Today we're taking a little trip down memory lane as I share some of my favorite recipes that we've had over the years and my family loves. These dishes have unforgettable flavors and lots of heart. I hope they bring you a little joy and inspiration to your home too. Enjoy. Welcome to Hillside Farm. My name is Ruth McKeaney, and we have a new series. It's the late winter, early spring, which is really kind of fun. We're ushering out winter and we're bringing in spring. So in this series, we're going to have Eileen, who you've met before, who's an incredible gardener, sharing some things with us. And then I'll have some other friends here making some fantastic recipes. And finally, we're going to have conversations about what it means to host, looking forward into our upcoming year. I hope you join us. I think it was my youngest son made sausage and kale soup, and nobody in our family had had it yet. And they had multiplied the recipe thinking they'd have enough for a couple of days or at least for lunch the next day. Every person had at least 2 bowls. Everyone loved it that much, including my husband and my son. So I promise you're gonna love it. It even has tortellini in it. It's really fantastic. So given this, here we go. You're gonna start out with 2 cups of very just kind of chop up your kale. You don't want a giant piece of kale in your soup. Now, what I have already going is back here. What I've done is I've taken a pound of sweet Italian sausage. You can do Italian sausage, the mild or the sweet, or you can do hot, depending on what you prefer. Take each one out and take the casing off. It's not that hard. Take a knife and go along the casing of it and then just flip it inside out. Go ahead and brown it, which is what I've done over here, and chop it up so it's kind of ground, like a ground beef. And add to this, we're gonna add to this a small onion that's been diced. Here we go. I diced a little bit extra, but I'm gonna add that. We're gonna cook this, you want your onions translucent. Oh my gosh, this soup is so good. So if we have any end of season, snow squalls, I promise you're gonna love this. All right, so while this cooks up, I'm gonna finish dicing the kale. Hopefully that gets it all. Again, you can also use spinach if you don't wanna use the kale, but kale's really healthy for you, and it does cook down. You don't even notice the difference. But again, use spinach if you prefer that. All right, and it's not a broth soup, it's a cream soup. So here we go. Here we've got our 3 cheese tortellini, that'll be ready to go. So right now, I think basically the sausage has cooked. It's not pink anymore. And the onion has got that translucent look. Oh, this is such good soup. And here's what I would recommend that you even do, because if you want to freeze some of it, don't initially put the tortellini in it. You freeze the soup mixture with the sausage and the kale, and then make this separately, because this over time continues to absorb all the broth, and you have to keep adding broth just to make it, soup again. All right, here we go. I'm gonna add to this 3 cloves of garlic that had been minced. I'm gonna put that in there. Just kind of stir that. You don't want to burn your garlic. And you're going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. And what this flour is going to do, it's a thickener. 3 tablespoons. And just incorporate this so it kind of gets rid of that starchy taste. If it's really greasy in there when you've cooked the sausage, you drain it. Mine had very little, so it wasn't a big deal. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of dried basil. half a teaspoon of oregano, which is right here. I'm gonna kind of eye it. A teaspoon of hot sauce. A pinch of cayenne. You don't even need to use cayenne if you don't want to. So I'm just going to use a little dash. A pinch of red pepper. And again, if you want more red pepper, you can add more red pepper. A half a teaspoon of mustard powder. Mix this up. And here's where we're going to add 5 cups of, no, before we do that, we're going to add a cup of heavy whipping cream. So the heavy whipping cream and the flour are going to make, a roux, and it's going to thicken the whole sauce. Now we're going to have 5 cups of chicken broth, and in each one of these is 4 cups. So we're going to add, 1 whole container of chicken broth and another cup. Again, if it's too thick, you can add more broth. And stir this up. And we're going to add the kale. You really get to just dump everything in here. And you're going to leave this to simmer for, 30 minutes. It'll be ready to, oh, the main ingredient. Here we go. The tortellini. Get a 10-ounce package of tortellini. I get the cheese tortellini and pour that in there. If your kids see noodles, you win every time. I might end up adding a little bit more chicken broth because I think I added a little too much flour. So this is going to simmer with the lid on 20 or 25 minutes. Serve it with huge, chunky, crispy bread. What also I've done before is throw part of a rind of Parmesan in it, and it just gets that flavor. I'm just going to add a little bit. This is a no-fail soup for your house, and you are going to absolutely love it. I think I mentioned this before. If you decide to freeze it, maybe freeze it separately. I guess it doesn't matter because it stops incorporating the juices once it's frozen anyway. But if you're going to eat this over a couple of days, you might want to serve your noodles separate, like throw the noodles in the bowl and then put the soup on top of that, because overnight those noodles are going to absorb all of the liquid and you're going to need to add more broth. But again, it doesn't matter if you're eating it all in one sitting. It doesn't matter anyway. You're going to love it. So it's almost done. Just another couple of minutes. Okay, this soup is done. It takes no time. It will please everybody in your house. Finish it off with a little grate of more Parmesan cheese. Again, crusty bread, maybe a salad, and people will be very happy. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a great... Welcome to our end of winter, beginning of spring series. This is going to be so much fun. I have my very dear friend Nancy visiting. Well, she's not visiting. She lives at the end of my driveway. She's our neighbor and has been a very dear friend for years. And she's brought, I'm really excited because it's a new recipe that I haven't tried and my kids haven't tried, but she says will blow their socks off. It's got fennel, garlic, onion, shallot, olive, citrus. It's got everything you would want in a chicken dish. So Nancy, thank you for coming.
Sure, thanks for having me. Yes, well, this is kind of a a recipe that's a variation of a couple of different ones that I've done in the past. And what I love about this recipe is the fennel, the combination of, I prefer dark meat over the lighter meat.
Isn't that funny? Because we had this conversation last night. I called you and I was like, is there a way
I know.
to put a breast in there? And she's like, when you cook it yourself, you can put a breast in there.
You can.
So
sure, you
what
can
do we
use
do
breast
first?
thighs. So what I did already is I browned the chicken.
Okay.
So I browned on
For
both
time's
sides, you know, just a little bit of salt and pepper, browned on both sides, and just put aside. Everything at the end is going to go back in there. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to, we've cut a garlic bulb in half crosswise, and we're going to brown that ever so slightly. And then we're going to put in our
Fennel.
fennel, thank you.
So I have one quick question, just so
Yes.
for people. Does it matter what kind of pan they use?
I prefer using a skillet that's going to brown things.
Okay.
I mean, I have a ceramic pan, and I feel like the regular skillet, like a crusade or any kind of, even just a traditional black skillet. Same.
Yeah. One of the
Just
cast
as long
iron.
as it's deep enough, because we're going to add some liquid at the end.
So you put a little olive oil and salt and
Olive
peppered
oil,
all the thighs.
avocado oil, either one.
Coconut oil even probably.
Coconut oil, yeah.
Okay,
Although
so you
olive
browned
oil-
these. We can set these to the side. Now you're going to do
Right.
the garlic.
We're
I'll
gonna
give
do
that
the
to
garlic. We're going to brown that up a little bit.
you. You literally just put it face first down
Yeah,
into
we
the
put
pan.
it face down in the pan. We've got
Is
that
it high
going.
enough?
And for
And-
like 30 seconds, you
On
don't
what
need a whole lot.
temperature?
I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. I would say medium heat, I would say. Low to
Okay.
medium heat on this.
Okay.
And just for 30
A
seconds.
fun piece of information. You know, Nancy and I would walk frequently together years past before her kids left her home and my kids started getting crazy into different sports during the day. And she became when did you become a vegetarian?
Well, I tried for, let's see, it was right before COVID.
Okay.
I was just looking to improve my health. I'd gone to a doctor who was more of a Mediterranean plant-based diet, and I thought, I'm going to try this. And so I did, for 3 years, I did a plant-based diet.
And she was always the one that helped me because she was just a few years ahead of me. So even when
check this.
perimenopause started, I called Nancy. So she had already gone to so many functional medicine people just trying to make sure her diet aligned with whatever supplements she was getting. And so she's been a huge source of information for me. And she said she had become a vegetarian. And so when I called her, because, and let me back up, she also started her own blog of recipes that she would make. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous food. And I'd be like, can I come down and just eat a little bit? So when I was wanting to do these series, I called her up and I said, hey, can I get you to do some recipes? And she called with a recipe, this chicken recipe. And I was like, wait. Chicken? And she said she had begun to incorporate chicken again.
Yeah, the more research I was doing about just women of a certain age, right? Let's just put it out there.
Women of a certain age.
Getting, you know, just how important protein is for our diet. And I felt like I was probably not getting enough. And also the foods that I was eating, like soy and tofu, I was having trouble with digesting. Yeah. So
that's what I've noticed the most is my digestion has changed.
yes. So,
Okay,
and that does. So
what
we're adding the shallots.
How
just
many
to slice shallots? I've got one small shallot.
One
depending
small
on
shallot.
that's all really
Okay.
you need. I'm going to add the
How much is the
fennel
fennel?
seeds, a tablespoon of fennel
Okay.
seeds, and we're going to turn that down ever so slightly. And we really don't want the fennel to burn.
Okay, so let's
Now,
move
there's a bunch of drippings in here from the chicken. So, in fact, that's probably good enough. I'm going to add this liquid.
Okay, what's that liquid?
quickly. So this is chicken broth. It's a cup of chicken broth. And I've got a half a cup of wine, white
Just
wine.
a white cooking wine?
Just a cooking wine.
Okay.
Well, that's actually just white wine. You can use anything. I actually have used a vinegar, like a wine vinegar, a white wine vinegar. You can use sherry vinegar.
Okay.
You
I
can
love it.
use
You're
dry
creative.
sherry. Yeah.
So basically anything you have on hand in that.
It's going to give it flavor. The vinegar or the wine, it's kind of the acid for your dish and kind of balances everything and gives it quite a bit of flavor, and also will give it the moisture that it needs, especially the wine. And so we've got everything in there. We're going to keep the heat on medium. I'd say we can probably turn up this heat a little bit. And now we're going to add the chicken back in the pan. We're going to add our fennel pieces around the chicken, and also the citrus around, everything kind of around the chicken.
And we
the
preheated
olives.
the oven to what?
We preheated the oven to 375.
Okay.
We'll put the lid on this. Once we have everything back in, we'll add our sprigs of, oh, you know what we did forget is I'm going to add a teaspoon, probably a teaspoon of the Calabrian peppers.
Okay.
If you're not used to hot, or if you like them hot, you can maybe do 2, but just to be on the safe side, we'll just do 1 teaspoon of those.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I
Yeah.
apologize. What's nice about once you add all the broth, whether it's the wine or the chicken stock, it takes up from the bottom of the pan all of the drippings from the chicken.
Absolutely, I know. It'll give it so much flavor. So yeah, you'll notice all those kind of crusty drippings, but once you put the liquid in there, you can just dig all that up. So now we've got all of our liquid. We've got our, our broth. We've got our wine. We've got everything. Now we can put the chicken back in.
Okay.
And we've also sautéed, just lightly browned the garlic bulb, so that can go in there.
Does that go in even with the skins?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Now, the skins, it'll come right out of the skin when you're going to eat the, eat the dish, eat the chicken after. It'll come right off of there. It'll be, and kind of, when it roasts in there in the skins, it has such a nice,
Flavor?
kind of, yeah. It's different than when you're sauteing it. And it's soft, and you could scoop those little garlic pieces
bolt
right out of there.
Heads out.
Yep. Yep, and that's, yep.
All right.
Okay, so then we're going to arrange, doesn't matter what order, but we'll put our fennel pieces.
Can we talk
do you
real
wanna
quick
talk
about
the fennel bulb?
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know what fennel is, and I love fennel. Again, you use it in your soups. I use it in my soups. But when I initially went to the grocery store years ago to buy fennel that was in a recipe, I didn't even know what it looked like. So would you just show what it looks like, because it's a little surprising.
Fennel is it's got that licorice flavor when it's raw.
Black licorice.
Yeah, black licorice. But it's kind of in between like a celery and an onion, I feel like. Unless you want to,
Yes.
I don't really know how else to, but those of you that are not familiar with fennel, so this is what it looks like. It's got all these stalks and the fronds, but what I do is I cut those right off, because we don't cook with those, and then I'll cut the bottom of this. So then I cut this right in half. There is a core in there, but you can eat that, and if you cut it, if you actually cut it, the 2 halves and a half in quarters now, and then you just cut like that. If you cut it with the core in there, it kind of keeps it together.
Oh, because it's like an onion. If you cut that core out, it falls all apart.
Exactly.
All right, so I put all the
that's probably enough. So for this dish, we probably need 1 fennel bulb.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
that works out well. This is sliced up orange. Whatever kind of orange you have, the juiciest, nicest orange, the caracaras
I know, I could like eat one of those right now.
Yeah, and then sliced lemon, 1 sliced lemon and 1 sliced orange. I like to actually cut these orange pieces in half, so they're just easier to put in the pan. And then these are small enough you can kind of leave those. So
Okay.
we just put all those around. And sometimes, I know when I first made this recipe, I didn't have enough liquid, and I thought, okay, it could be a little bit more. So you could even add a little bit more chicken broth in here if you like it to be a little more juicy. We've got enough wine, got a half a cup of wine. We'll add these olives.
How many olives?
That's a cup of olives. So these olives are, let's see, I forgot the name, Castelvetrano, or something like Castelvetrano. So I think they're an Italian olive. But they're a very mild olive. I also mix them with Sicilian olives.
Okay.
These have a lot more flavor. There's a little bit of juice in there, which is great. But that's going to really balance the
Because
citrus.
I already ate like
sweet.
4 of them before we started filming. So
And then,
I know.
I do the same. And then this is just a couple of sprigs of rosemary and thyme. They're just going to give it that extra flavor. So we can just put these, like, just submerge them into the liquid.
So you don't even need to take it off the stalks?
Nope. You can just
Okay,
put them
can
right
I
in the
just
liquid.
say, this might be, in all seriousness, one of the prettiest dishes, so.
It's
I'm
even
excited.
prettier when it's cooked.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we will put that in the oven with the top on.
Okay.
We'll cover it. We'll put it in the oven.
Ready? I can put it in.
And we will cook that for about 40 minutes.
Oh, I might. Okay.
And I like to, after 40 minutes, I like to take the cover off and I like to broil it for 5 minutes just to get that extra browning on top.
Okay.
And there you have it.
Okay. So now that, are you still doing your blog? I would love for you to share with people where your blog was, because I can't even tell you how beautiful her recipes are for healthy, healthy appetizers, healthy dinners, salads.
Yeah. Well, when I first started the blog and I was doing a lot of, vegetarian / vegan, I don't like to use the word. I prefer to use plant-based because it just sounds a little more friendly than vegan.
Yeah.
But I was doing a lot of plant-based, so I was trying to get creative and I was eating a lot more variety of vegetables.
Okay.
And I would roast vegetables and I would put them on the salads.
Yeah.
And the key for me was making a dressing that had the garlic, a little bit of garlic. The key is in the dressing if you're going to make a salad. It really is. You can have the most voluptuous, this just beautiful, loaded salad, and if you don't have it, if you don't have a flavored dressing, it's just blah.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, you could have a very simple salad, but just with the right dressing, the right flavor, and it's basically either lemon juice or red wine vinegar, garlic, and olive oil, and you can add a little bit of mustard, Dijon mustard to that.
Yeah. Even honey.
Just
I've
real
seen a
honey,
variety.
maple syrup.
If people want to find the things you've done, I know you haven't posted for a while.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out where my blog is going at the moment.
I understand
Nancy's
your
Plants
pain.
and other things now.
Yeah, that's right, because it's called Nancy's Plants or Nancy Plants.
Nance Eats Plants.
Nancy's. I remember when you were trying to come up with a name, and you sent me all these options, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, my daughter ultimately came up with it, and I loved it because it was very catchy.
Because Nance Eats Plants.
Yeah.
And they just type that in.
So it's NANCE EATS PLANTS. Now that could change.
Is that a website or is it Instagram?
No, it's just an Instagram site.
Okay.
I don't have the website. I never really got to that part. I felt like the cooking kind of took over. But there's still a lot of. I look back and sometimes I'm like, did I make all that?
You can do a little cookbook. So definitely check that out, because I'm telling you, her food is beautiful and it is so good. You wouldn't know. For those of us who eat meat, you wouldn't know that you're only eating plants. And so I love it because, becoming a woman around that age, it's even more it's always important to eat a lot of greens, but I think too, it becomes even more important.
Yeah.
I think my digestive system has changed. I don't do a lot of dairy. I used to eat cheese like it was going out of style, and now I can't eat a lot of cheese.
I have dabbled in cheese. For 3 years, I didn't eat any, and what I noticed was I stopped craving it. But now I've gotten back into for salads, a little feta or maybe a little blue cheese or some Parmesan or goat cheese, ever so much, because I don't eat dairy either because it doesn't agree with me.
So there's where we're at. Well, we're going to see
ladies.
what this does in about 40 minutes, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think it's time to take out. We went ahead and already browned it. We put it on broil for just about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to brown.
3 to 5 minutes, depending on how high your pan is.
So keep your eye on it.
Keep your eye on it.
All right, let me pull it out. I know your back is hurt, so let me pull it out. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous.
So,
that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you serve how do you serve it? Do you serve it with rice? Do you serve it alone?
I will usually make rice with this. I think chicken goes so well with
Yeah,
rice. I mean, you could put this over a pasta, but you can do a saffron rice or just you could do a brown rice, an herbed rice, a wild rice. Really, it goes with anything. And it's great. And then you have your salad and you've got your meal.
And we have our dinner for tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
me.
And thank you for joining us. And you definitely need to try this. If I could tell you what it smelled like, everything from the oranges and the lemons and the olives and the fennel, everything, it smells divine. So please give it a try and have a great day. Hillside Farm. My name is Ruth McKeaney, and we are doing the fall series on all things fall, whether that's outside or inside cooking or time with friends. So today we're going to do one of my very favorite fall things, and fall is my favorite time of year, but I love soups. I can eat any. I think there's only a couple of soups that I don't like, but I love soups. And in my cookbook, Hungry for Home, on page 376 is the soup we're going to do today. I've got a bunch of them in here, from potato soups to wild rice chicken soup, chicken and barley soup. But today we're doing butternut squash. So here's what you're going to need to have on hand to do this soup. We've got butternut squash. You can buy it already cubed. You can, bless your heart, if you want to go ahead and take a whole butternut squash and do it that way in the oven, you can do it. I went ahead and bought it pre-cubed, cleaned, and all of that kind of stuff. Then we need some celery, a yellow onion, some heavy whipping cream, that's for the end, the drizzling, some bacon that I cooked up yesterday, and then chicken stock. So here we go. I've already, so the recipe has this, it was made for my large family. Because there aren't very many people home at this point, I halved the recipe. So what I'm going to be saying to you is the half measurements. So behind me, I did about 21 ounces of chicken broth. I have that going in my Dutch oven. I have it on a boil. And the reason being is we are going to be putting in the butternut squash, the onions, and the celery and letting it all get really tender. So to that, I'm going to add, here we go, 1.5 pounds of cubed butternut squash. And I'm going to put that in here. For a fall night, what is better than coming home to a really cozy, mug? All right, and I'm going to take 2 stalks of celery. And again, just give it a rough chop. It's so easy and so fast to make this soup. And I've seen this soup done in a lot of different ways. I've even seen some people add a little pumpkin to their butternut squash, and it has kind of a pumpkin flavor. This is the one that I love, though. All right. I'm going to get this really going. This is going to stay in the pot until all of the vegetables, including the squash, is really tender. So I will keep checking on it over the next 10 minutes, and we will see where we are at. And add a little bit more of this. Okay, I just checked. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Everything is tender. So the butternut squash, as well as the celery and the onion, are all very tender. And now's the time to turn off your oven. Don't leave it on while you're doing this. When I first got married, I wondered, why do I need an immersion blender? I didn't even know what one it was used for. And I was like, I'm never going to make soup anyway, so why do I need it? This thing has been used for decades, and I love it. It probably has seen better days, but you know what? It's tried and true. So, pot's off. Immersion blender is getting ready to go. What this does is it is literally blending up everything that's in here to make your soup. Now make sure that it's deeper than this, because in the past I've done it and soup sprayed all over the place. So you have to make sure it's below the water or the stock line. Okay, bringing my pot. Now what do I add to this is about a tablespoon of butter. This just makes it really rich. It is so good. And as this melts, let me see. Let me stir this. I'm telling you, this soup is so good. Make your favorite bread. Make a big crunchy sourdough bread. This is the perfect, like, read a book by the fire, lunch by yourself, or dinner with the family. All right, that butter is melting. And then I'm going to show you the special way I serve this. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I take the soup. The butter has already melted. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I got this fun pottery in Park City. That's where a lot of my family lives. And we found this potter who makes his own pottery. So for different holidays, for my birthday, Bob would always buy me some mugs or plates or bowls once a year. And I gradually grew my collection. All right. There we go. Now I take heavy whipping cream, just a little bit, and I drizzle that on top. Makes a fun little decoration on top. And then I take some bacon that I made and crumbled up, and I put that in there. And there you have it. An awesome soup. Thank you for joining us. Please always check Tip Tuesday on Instagram, Hungry for Home. On Tuesdays, I do all sorts of tips in cooking and gardening and family child rearing, and those are on Tuesdays. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us for this soup. Have a great day. Welcome to Hillside Farm. I'm Ruth McKeaney, and welcome again to the summer series. And today we are going to do an appetizer with my very oldest and very dearest friend, Heather Burling, who came over today to make a recipe she makes for me. She loves to do all things chopping and salad and all those things. So we each divide and conquer when we entertain. She likes that kind of thing, so I'm gonna let her explain exactly what she does, because this is a summer recipe that I think will become a favorite.
It's a great appetizer. So it's super simple, and ideally you want to use really fresh, sweet little tomatoes.
Before you tell them about that.
Yeah.
So Heather, we met almost 24 years ago.
Yeah.
And I would say in that 24 years, if you've read the book Hungry for Home, she has been a part or helped with every single event you see. And I think that that's what I would encourage you. Pull people in, pull your kids in, pull your best friends in. Entertaining is not about you doing it doing it yourself. It isn't about the host. It's about your guests, and it's about calling your guests in for involvement. So that's what Heather has done. She has literally helped me entertain probably maybe 95% of all parties.
A lot.
She has helped me do. So now I'm turning it over to you, and you're gonna explain.
Okay. So my friend Abby first brought this to my house. Okay, we're doing ciabatta, grilled ciabatta, like a bruschetta. So grilled ciabatta, and then it's a tomato with sliced tomato bruschetta.
But I like it, multicolored
Multicolors.
tomatoes.
I always try to get fresh farmers market ones if I can, so they're juicy. You actually want juicy ones for this. And it's so simple. And then usually you can serve it alongside a cheese. So you can do a ricotta or some sort of a soft cheese. My family really just loves the boursin. It's so simple and easy. And so
do you remember when we made homemade boursin with Jillian?
Yeah.
So this older woman who was a caterer basically taught you and I how to entertain, but she made homemade boursin.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's just super simple. You probably have all your herbs in your garden during the summer, and so what you can do is a combination of herbs. But I always use basil and I always use dill. But you can throw in parsley or chives. But honestly, I have found, strangely enough, the dill is like the winner.
Best part.
It makes it so much better, and it just gives it a kick at the end. So we start with our garlic, and I usually do.
Actually, can I be cutting this while you're talking?
Sure.
Is there a certain way you want me cutting the bread?
So it's just going to be
at
slices.
An angle?
Yeah. Do a nice angled slice.
And how thin or thick?
Like right about there.
Half inch?
Yeah, half inch.
Okay.
And because what we're going to do is we're going to paste.
Now, do you always use fresh garlic, or can you buy the container?
You
of
could use
garlic?
it, but I'll tell you what, the garlic adds so much pop. I think I would personally use fresh garlic because you really do want that fresh garlic flavor to come out.
Okay.
And this is also one of those things you can do where you make the tomato mixture and it can sit for a little while and it can just marinate for a little longer. Good job.
This is my workout.
That was
for the
good.
day.
And so you can make your tomato mixture, let it sit for a while, and then throw your fresh herbs in at the last minute.
Last minute. Yeah, you don't want to be too strong.
No, you want the herbs in at the last minute.
Do you use these heels?
No.
No, but I'll
I
put
don't.
butter on them
Save
later.
them. Yeah.
Okay. So give me my job because I will be putting these on the grill.
So what I usually do is I take a little bit of olive oil.
You even brought
I
a
know,
brush, and
I
you know
know.
why? Mine is broken. It's not even
Take a little
attached.
olive oil, and you're going to brush
Both sides or one side?
Both sides, because you're going to put it on the grill, both sides on the grill.
Okay.
Give it a little bit of olive oil. Perfect, on each side.
Okay.
Yep.
You can go back to your job.
All right.
I got this.
All right.
Okay.
Just making sure you got it.
I know, believe it or not, I can.
So over the years, Ruth's always been the baker, and I've been the salad maker.
The salad maker. I do not enjoy sitting and shopping.
I don't
Heather
mind it.
loves it.
I find it very comforting.
Cathartic.
Yeah.
So Heather has 4 kids. They run every other year to my kids. I have the 5, so it starts my number 1, then hers, and boom, boom, boom. And she has 3 sons, and then a daughter in there that's the only child that her daughter matched up with one of my daughters. So they've been very close since they were born.
Yeah. So I have a 23-year-old son, 21-year-old son, 18-year-old daughter, and 13-year-old son.
All right, here we go.
So back in the day, when we went to church together at the same time, we would do switches on Sunday after church. Britta would go to your house for girl time, and Anders would come to my house for boy time.
For boy time.
They would toss him around a little bit, tough him up. I think he's fine now.
He's fine now that he plays football.
Yeah.
He is just fine.
Oh, good. All right, so I'm going to put this in this bowl.
Okay.
It's just 2 cloves of garlic.
I like that knife, by the way.
It's a great knife. It's a Santuco, which is just a smaller chef's knife.
Yeah.
I use it almost every day.
I really like it.
And then I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar in here, red wine vinegar.
Red wine.
Yep.
And when you say little bit.
And I don't get out the measuring spoons.
Okay,
It's about
if
a
you had to
tablespoon,
guess.
probably about a tablespoon.
Okay.
Okay. And I will say, once you add your tomatoes, your cut tomatoes,
Yeah.
you can add more olive oil and vinegar as you see fit.
Okay.
So let that just sort of sit in there for a few minutes. Then I'm going to take my tomatoes and simply, since they're little, you can just cut them in. It really depends how big they are, but really it can be like in fourths.
In fourths. Okay.
It's super simple.
And these are those kind of
And you-
heirloom tomatoes
yes, and
where you can get
you keep
every
the
color.
seeds. You don't have to de-seed them.
Okay.
Sometimes if they're long like this, I'll just cut them a little smaller, cut them in half, and then cut them through a couple more times. Really, you just want them to be kind of about the same size. Yeah, bite size. Yeah. So it really depends how big each tomato is.
Because some of them are tiny and some
Yeah,
of them are bigger.
I know. So you want to?
Yeah. So I'm going to take these
wanna
out
take
to a grill,
Okay.
and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so I've gotten the grill hot according to Heather's instructions. It's like a medium high, but it's enough to char your bread. And I just lay it down, literally. You're gonna grill them. I'll tell you, entertaining is so much more fun with friends than doing it by yourself. And I mean, we've had 24 years of practice, so it's been really sweet. All right, let's see. Ooh, it's hot. Chopping away at tomatoes. We've got herbs going. I'm doing dill, you're doing basil.
Yep.
All right, how finely do you want it? Just minced?
Yeah, pretty fine. You know,
Okay.
just it's just going to add so much flavor, and it smells so good. So, but again, it's really kind of one of those things. You really just add whatever herbs you have on hand in your garden right now. But you know, we're doing Italian parsley,
Okay.
dill.
Try to take a lot of the
basil.
stems out of the parsley.
Yeah, same with the dill, but you know.
Yeah. You're more patient with this kind of thing than me. I literally am like, stem, who cares about a little stem? And Heather has it all done.
Sometimes for some types of recipes, but like truly, the herbs are kind of the show of this.
Yeah.
So you are tasting it and you're not cooking it down.
That's true.
So you do actually really want to make sure that they're just really good quality leaves.
Can I start doing boursin on these?
Yeah, so here, put your boursin. Usually when I serve this, I'll put it on a platter, put the boursin in a ramekin.
Okay.
So that people can help themselves, and it's kind of fun for people to build their own.
Build their own. Okay. So I'm not actually putting it on these.
Yeah,
No, I'm
put
not
it in
putting
here.
it in here.
And,
All right.
and it makes a nice, pretty presentation. It looks pretty.
Great. First of all, I'm sorry. I love boursin.
It's a cook's preference. You're allowed to do that.
I'm allowed. All right.
All right. So we've got fresh herbs, really, and then I added a little extra.
Do we have any more boards out here? What are all those? Oh, that was the basil I brought.
Yeah.
You clearly ignored my basil.
You did use it. I chopped it up. I did.
Okay.
No, I used it. So I added a little bit more of the vinegar and some olive oil in here, and you can see like the tomatoes, it's just breaking down a little bit, which is what you want. You actually want it juicy because the juice will soak into your bread, and that's what makes it really yummy. And then when you're ready, really when you're about ready to serve it, is when I dump these in, and this will change everything.
We'll change it all. Now, is that too many herbs for that amount of tomato?
You know. You could probably add a little bit more, but
Oh, you mean tomato?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for now it looks
but
fantastic.
honestly, it's as soon as it gets within this mixture, it's all going to start to, soak into. But yeah, I would, if I was doing this at home, I would add a little more tomatoes. And then get a plate. And I'll show you what.
I'm getting a little knife.
Here, it's right here. I've got
you brought one? Of course you did. Okay. When our kids were young and we would go anywhere and you have your baby bag and you have your diaper, you have your wipes. I do not carry all that stuff with me, but Heather would always bring double because she knows I'm not very organized.
It's okay.
So
we all have
we all have those gifts.
All right.
Put that on there.
Yeah.
And then I think it's really pretty, and I even have a piece of lavender we can throw on. Just throw on some herbs on your board. Look, I have a lavender right here.
Oh.
You can even cut a piece of lavender.
Yeah.
And throw that on your board. Yeah. And there
It's pretty
is
simple.
a fabulous presentation.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you. Well, I think we need to make a little one.
Yeah, do one.
Let's do half one.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I have it.
So,
Which one are you going for?
Here, go. That one looks
you want to
perfect.
split it?
That one looks perfect. So you do
I
a
can
little,
grill a mean piece of bread.
A little bit of boursin. Just spread that right on there.
I'm gonna do my own.
Yeah. More of that juice really soaks up.
And if you want to serve it pretty, you can put it on a little board.
And now we need a glass of white wine.
And now we need a glass of wine. Okay. All right.
Yum.
All right.
Happy summer.
Happy summer. Thank you for coming and sharing.
Cheers.
It is so fresh. It is so much fun. So call your girlfriends over, have a glass of wine, and check this out.
Yum.
www.hungryforhome or Instagram hungryforhome. Always every week a different tip. Have a great day.